I have been out of streaming for quite some time, actually. There we go. Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and welcome back to each and one of you. And of course, if you're watching this over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to slap that like button, subscribe, but more importantly, come over to Twitch, join us live. It's always more fun live. Always more fun live. I promise you that. Because you can actually impact the stream directly when we're doing this live. I am still a little bit, it's called a hangover from COVID, but for the most part I feel good. I feel fine. Let's do DOS. Let's let people know that we are finally live once again. As you can hear, my voice is still not quite healed. It's still fucking struggling to do half the shit. I'm trying to make videos, and about halfway through a video, my voice just goes tits up for some reason. So yeah, I'm not gonna scream today. Trouble Fang, how you doing? Forgotten One, how you doing? Bunga, thank you so much for tier 1 sub. Did really fucking appreciate that. 9 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's good, Fat Fucker family? Oh, I have no complaints, dude. How you feeling, mate? Tired still. Sathix, how you doing? I'm tired, but I'm better, I guess you could say. Sathix, thank you so much for the prime stuff, dude. Really appreciate that. 20 months in a row. Did you actually have the Rona, or was it just normal illness? No, Trouble Fang. I had the antibody test, and I had Rona. I can't remember which version of it, but you know. Pyro Machine, how you doing? Jesse X Core, how you doing, bro? Cerebral, it seems that they are killing one of my favorite characters, the Arbiter. How's the Arbiter one of your favorite characters? 6X, what the fuck? Kale, thank you so much for the prime stuff, dude. Really appreciate that. 3 months in a row. Guys, I want to say right off the bat, there's not going to be a lot of screaming or yelling in this video. My voice is still extremely tender. I tried to make a video yesterday, and my voice just completely cut out. That's why I didn't stream last night. But I did not want to go an entire week without any streams. So we're going to do it very chill, do it very relaxed. Hopefully my voice lasts for the whole of the stream. And yeah, hopefully we're back after this. Hey man, just take it easy today. Stray, how you doing? All gods try to infect your soul with the with the light, pulled you out. Fuck the light, bro. Kauteri, how you doing? Hope you're doing a lot better. I've been feeling better for the last 4 or 5 days. I've been feeling good. My voice has been gone though, which is why I haven't streamed. Like legit, my voice would just usually throughout the course of like the day, like 2 hours after I woke up, my voice would just die. Holy shit. Huddle for dear life, Ubunga. Thank you so much for the $100, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just huddle, baby. Huddle. Killer Gang, how you doing? Yes, well, yes, it should be spoiler 3. There's not going to be a lot of spoilers. There might be one spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler because we don't know. We just have a short cinematic with a character in the cinematic. But I don't think I don't think that's going to be too big of a spoiler. I don't know. Nothing's ever really fucking spoiler free on this, right? Oh yeah, Ubunga. Can we get some love for Ubunga in the chat? I mean, $100 is a lot of money, guys. Like you absolutely have to give some love, and then also feel a little bit sad that you didn't get in on the AMC. Good to see you back. But how you feeling, big buddy? Unforgiven One, I'm feeling better. Thank you for the prime stuff, dude. Really appreciate that. 24 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm feeling better. I have to tell you guys, I have never felt as bad as I did those first 3 days. And it was sudden. Holy shit. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear how it happened? Like, do you want to hear how 2 days of absolute hell ensued? Shadow Grove, I had COVID. My brother is all over AMC. Nice. Fucking nice. Alright, so I'm trying to remember now which day it was. I think it was the Thursday. So I wake up. I'm feeling fine, right? The previous night we did a whole bunch of gym session stuff. Like we did 1 rep maxes at the gym. So I woke up and I was literally, I'm feeling sore, like you do when you get, when you had a pretty heavy gym session the previous night. Get into the shower, but I'm feeling fine. Nothing wrong with me. I get into the shower, literally, as I get out of the shower, I feel a little bit lightheaded, but that's it. Just slight lightheadedness. I sort of chalked it up to just, maybe just a bit tired, a bit exhausted after the previous night at the gym. And I thought, fuck it, I get dressed, I go downstairs, I make myself some tea, because obviously I've given up coffee. And as I'm standing downstairs, I'm drinking my tea, I progressively start to feel more and more lightheaded, like to the point where I want to pass out. That's how I'm feeling. And I kept thinking to myself, could this be an illness? What is this? Kelly Gang, thank you for the tier 1 sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 7 months in a row. Thank you. Responsible for the hair. What's wrong with the hair? You guys just started this Kamaz train. This is your fault, by the way. I didn't do this. But you guys just started this Kamaz train, so choo-choo, everyone. Currently writing my book with you on the background, so hopefully you don't distract me too much. Jack Rover, I will try. I'm recapping the events of how I got sick. Guys, within an hour, so literally within an hour, I felt lightheaded, as I said. Nothing miserable or horrible, just lightheaded. I felt as if maybe my blood sugar is a bit low. Like, maybe I just have to eat something so that I feel good again. Over the next hour, I progressively felt myself getting worse and worse and worse, to the point that within an hour, I was dead fucking ill. And when I say dead ill, I'm not even exaggerating. Shortness of breath started about half an hour afterwards, right? Half an hour after the lightheadedness started and I got downstairs to make myself some tea, I started to feel shortness of breath. Like, not heavy. It's not as if you're going, can't breathe. It's more just whenever you breathe in, it's as if there's not enough air coming into your lungs. I don't know how to explain it, but you feel as if you're not getting enough into your lungs, right? So, the most terrible body ache. Everyone here who's had the flu will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say body ache, right? Your entire body aches. However, this is on a next level. This is something that I've never felt this before. It's not gym ache. It's not flu ache. This is miserable, to the point where I remember lying down and I genuinely couldn't find a position to lie in. I would lie in one position for 1 minute, and then it would be so overwhelmingly painful that I would have to change position just to try and get some way of being at least somewhat comfortable. And then about an hour after going to bed, because I just felt super fucking tired, super in pain, an hour after going to bed, the fever started. And this was the worst part of it. At one point, my fever was close to 38°C. So I actually got into a cold shower. I phoned up my dad and I'm like, bro, something's very fucking wrong here. Sophia, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. Really fucking appreciate that. 33 months in a row. Thank you. Is that hype level 3 currently? I'm not entirely sure, but I really appreciate that. Level 2 complete. We're on level 3 now for the Kamaz train. Sophia, really appreciate that. So I don't even know how to explain this to you guys. So I phone up my dad. I tell him about all of the symptoms that I'm experiencing. And he goes, sounds like COVID. Sounds like you've had it. He's had it twice. He's a medical doctor, by the way. So it's not as if I'm just phoning up my dad randomly, who's like an accountant. He is a medical doctor. He says, it sounds like you have COVID. I'm going to prescribe you a bunch of medication. I'll get the pharmacy to deliver it to you. And then we'll see, right? So my first question to him is, listen, is there a test? Can I go and get the test to see if I have COVID? And he told me there's no point. This is, by the way, one of the biggest... Germanio, how you doing? This is, by the way, one of the biggest things I did not know. Did you guys know that the test to see if you have COVID is a complete Kamaz? How many people here knew that? because I genuinely didn't. It doesn't actually work. And I have three people that told me the exact same story. My aunt is one of them. My aunt came to Pretoria to see the gynecologist about something, and South Africa's rules were as such that you're not allowed to travel between provinces, right, unless you get tested. So he told her, listen, need to test you. And the doctor tested her, and she tested positive for COVID, which means she's not allowed to go back home. She now has to stay in the province until she's better. So she phoned up her home GP, and he said, "Oh, just do the test again." She did the test again, and came back negative. She could go home. My dad literally said to me, "Don't waste your money. It's, I think, 10 times as expensive to get the test to see if you have COVID. And if you do it 2 days in a row, one will be positive, one will be negative. Like, you could just keep doing it every single day, and it will give you a positive, a negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. The only test that works is the antibody test. So that's after you've had it. You go and they see if you have the antibodies. That's how they know whether or not you have COVID. The test to test whether or not you actually do have COVID, that just doesn't work. So it's 80% accurate. Typhoon, like I said, dad's a medical doctor. I spoke to 2 other doctors in Pretoria, just by the way, both telling me the same thing. Because after my dad told me that, I phoned up 2 doctors here to see if I could get the test from them, because my dad wasn't going to give me a prescription to go get the test. And both of the doctors that I phoned, and this was random doctors. This wasn't me knowing the doctors. I don't know any doctors in Pretoria. I was literally just going through my phone on the internet, looking for fucking GPs and asking them if they want to do it. And both of the doctors said, dude, you're going to waste your fucking money. There's no point in that test. I told them my symptoms, and they said, yes, it sounds like you have COVID. We'll test as soon as it's done. Because that's a cheaper test as well. It's like $20 for the test to see if you have the antibodies. It's like $100 for the test to see if you have COVID. So for anyone that's sort of wondering, that's the difference in pricing. It's free here in Denmark, and I have to take it every other day for work. Where do you think you caught COVID? Kautere, I genuinely don't know. I think it may have been the gym. Encompasses more than COVID-19. Maybe all the SARS family. I don't know. The problem with the test, I did not pay attention. By the way, keep in mind, when I was doing this conversation with the doctors, I was in agony and I had fever. So I was not paying a whole lot of attention to what they were explaining to me. I was literally just going, well, they don't want to give it to me. They don't want to give me the fucking test so that I can see if I have COVID, right? So I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, but basically, I think what it boils down to is you don't have... they don't test for COVID. They test for some kind of thing in the blood that has to be there or shouldn't be there or something to that effect. The problem with that thing that they're testing for, the compound or whatever, is sometimes it's present and sometimes it's not. So it really doesn't fucking matter, right? It's like cholesterol. Sometimes your cholesterol is up, sometimes it's down. Most doctors have also now reached the conclusion that cholesterol doesn't fucking matter. Is here in Germany, the PCR test is also free if you have symptoms. Nothing in South Africa is free, which I like, by the way. I'm not advocating for free anything. Nothing is free. You get the absolute best healthcare, but it costs you an arm and a fucking leg. The antibody test is a whole different thing, Enoch. That's a whole different discussion. The antibody test is 100% accurate. That's the one that I had. That's the one that tested positive. So I know I had COVID because I have the antibodies for it, right? Killy Gang, how you doing, bro? Looking like a chug jug, my dude. Looks like you beat COVID's ass. I feel better. Just my voice that's still a little bit sort of iffy. It hurts when I speak. But for the most part, I feel good. I don't have much complaints. Anyways, for the next 2 days, I literally couldn't sleep because it was going up and down, up and down, up and down. It was a fucking nightmare. I felt miserable as shit. I mean, on the third day, it was sort of okay-ish. Now, to be fair, I don't think I'm allowed to say this on the internet, so I won't, because it could get people in trouble. But I was on a medication that a lot of doctors in South Africa prescribe for patients with COVID that isn't recognized as a legitimate treatment for COVID, but the doctors in South Africa swear by it. To the point where, and just to be clear, this medication isn't actually for human consumption. It's not even meant for humans. No, it's not hydroxychloroquine. No, Ubangu. That we don't have hydroxychloroquine in South Africa. That's not a drug that is sold in South Africa, but we have something similar to it. That's for human. The thing I took isn't for humans. It's not meant for humans, but based on preliminary drug trials and stuff, it seems to destroy the COVID virus. Like, it just fucking wrecks it. It is absolutely miserable to drink, but it seems to do the job. Andy, how you doing, bro? I can finally vape again. I wasn't able to vape for about 4 days. I tried on day 4 to actually have one pull of the vape, and I couldn't stop coughing. So I can finally vape again, which is good. I was able to vape yesterday again for the first time. Did you have the symptoms of smelling or tasting, or were you lucky at least not losing smell and taste? Blades, wow, I had some smell. Like, some of my smell was gone. Like, it wasn't fully. So the way this works, and this is why I'm so fucking happy that I didn't have to go through it. Well, I stopped smoking, Stevie. Completely stopped smoking. The only thing I'm doing now is vaping. Because I didn't want to smoke. I was legitimately so ill that the idea of having a cigarette would have killed me. And then, yeah, I just didn't start again. Afterwards, I was just like, well, fuck this smoking thing. I'll just have some vape every once in a while because I like the taste of the vape. So I'll have some vape, but I'm not going to be smoking. Vladio, how you doing, bro? Good in the smoking, I agree. Well, the good thing that I have now is, so what I wanted to say before I got interrupted, or before I interrupted myself, according to most of the doctors, at least, like my dad and the 2 doctors that I spoke to here, the ordinary scale sort of is people get very ill for 2 days, and then there's like a 5-day sort of period in which people actually get a little bit better. It happened to two of the people that work with my brother, where they got very ill for 2 days. They got sort of better for about 5 days, and then they got fucking stupidly ill, like to the point where they had to go to the hospital ill. So that's why after the first 2 days, I was legitimately sitting there going, when the fuck's the fucking shoe gonna drop, bro? Because my dad told me, listen, just stick with the medication, keep taking it. If in 5 days you feel better, you still feel good, we know you're good, right? Nothing to worry about. If not, if it moves to your lungs, this is the fuck up, because that's basically what happens. You get it, and then you get very ill, but then it moves to your lungs. Stebby, thank you very much for the deal. What's up, dude? Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the Fat Fuckers Club. Thank you. Apocalypse, how you doing, bro? I did have corona, yes. True Sud Prime, how you doing, bro? Thank you so much for the Prime sub, man. Really fucking appreciate that. 23 months in a row. Thank you. Still in Bastion, haven't had time to play. You get corona. I did, Vladio. I did, but I'm better now. So it's just my voice now that's still a little bit fucked. The only nice thing about this now is I've got the antibodies, so I don't have to give a fuck about the vaccine or anything. That's literally the only nice thing about this is I'm good. I've had it, right? You need to put it in the title. I think that you got corona. No, I don't. Like, I didn't even want to make. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. Glad to see you doing better, man. Moni, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I never want to feel that ill again in my fucking life. Never again. And what was so funny is in the video that I did 2 days ago, where I just apologized for not being able to make more videos and sort of telling people that I had corona, the amount of people that went get the vaccine was insane. Bro, I already have it. Like, the fucking vaccine's not gonna do shit for me now, right? I mean, the vaccine isn't gonna protect you against a different strain, so doesn't matter. The problem in the long run is the ability to concentrate. It messes up that. Oh, yeah. You can't focus on shit. Don't worry, my immune system is prime. Mike Tyson. In the Chinese lab, there's proof now. A lot of people seem to be, like, on that train. With all the new strains, I don't think the antibodies I've got would do much anymore, considering I got it when it first came out. So, to be fair, the only thing that is gonna save anyone here is everyone has to get it. Because the vaccine, well, there's so many things about the vaccine that we have to talk about, but I don't want to bore you guys, because I obviously have my thoughts. How many people here have got the vaccine shot? By show of hands, can I get how many people have the vaccine? How many people took the vaccine? See, I'm a little bit... So, I'm not against vaccines at all. I've had all of my vaccines. I get the flu shot every single year. I'm not anti-vaccines at all, right? I am, however, anti this vaccine. And I'll explain to you why, right? Just... Okay, first and foremost, you can't get it in South Africa. If you're a normal civilian, there is no vaccines for you. Literally none, right? My country, the first million or so batches of the vaccine that they got, they fucked it off, right? They literally let it rot. So it got destroyed. So now we need a new fucking batch of vaccines. So you can't get it in South Africa. I'm not anti-vaccines. I think vaccines are amazing. I'm not anti-medication. I'm not anti the medical field. In fact, I believe that medicine can cure pretty much all diseases. I am the first person to get antibiotics for just about everything, right? So I'm not against any of these things. I'm a doctor's son. I grew up with literally all medications and I love them. Here's my problem with this vaccine. First and foremost, this is not a vaccine. For anyone that didn't know, this is GMO. Right? It's literally genetic modification. It's not a vaccine. The thing that you get, it doesn't actually inject you with a benign strain of the virus to allow your body to create antibodies for this. It literally changes your genetics. Now, my issue with that is, up until very recently, and we're talking 2 years ago at this point, genetic therapy was completely illegal. You weren't allowed to fuck around with people's genes. In fact, there's only one country in the entire world where genetic research is allowed, and that's the UK. It's the only place where you're even allowed to research genetic engineering. Regardless of actually doing it. You're not allowed to do it to human beings, but you can research it. Now we've said, hold up, will allow you to fuck around with someone's genes, and what's worse, will allow you to do it with a vaccine or a thing that have not been tested at length to see what... Look, guys, just very quickly. And I'm for gene therapy. Wild Boy, I 100% agree with you. I believe that genetic modification is the future of the human race. I believe that. I think that we'll eventually be able to genetically modify ourselves to be immune to pretty much every disease, to be immune to aging. I'm big believer in genetic manipulation and how to change the genes. What's interesting to me is that the amount of people that look at their food and does not want GMOs in their food are the same fucking people that's going, yeah, put that GMO right there, baby. Let's do it. No GMO in my food. I don't want my food genetically modified, but you can genetically modify the fuck out of me, please. Let's do this. Here's my problem. This has not been tasted. we know that one of the big issues with genes, if you start fucking with genes and you make mistakes, cancer is a very real possibility. Sterility, so being sterile, literally being incapable of producing offspring, is a very real capability. There is a myriad of diseases that is very real when you start fucking around with genes. Something, up until 2 years ago, we weren't allowed to do. You weren't allowed to fuck with people's genes. And there's millions of people that have just gone, yeah, put that thing right there, bro. Change my genes, please. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe nothing happens. Also, just so the people know, Moderna, the literal vaccine, the Fauci owns the patent to that, right? He literally owns the patent to it. He also owns the... He has stock in Moderna, the company. He makes millions off of this. Plus, I don't trust his face, which is just sort of, you know, I don't trust the guy's face. He just looks like a scumbag to me. I'm not saying he's wrong about everything. I just think his face looks like he's a scumbag. Again, not trying to say anyone should or shouldn't get it. I just think it's dangerous, and I think in about 5 years or so, there's a very real possibility that we could come up with millions of people getting cancer, millions of people getting all sorts of fucking things going wrong with them because of this, because we allowed fear to cloud the common sense that we all believe, right? We all believe 100% that, hey, medical trials is necessary, right? That's why we have medical trials. That's why we tell pharmaceutical companies, hey, test your shit before you just give it to people. We've just allowed them to give us something that have not been tested. And I, for one, will probably not be getting it. I'm fine being sterile. When do I get to be a cyborg? I mean... babies anyway. Hey, it's up to every single person. I am not judging anyone. If you want to get the vaccine, you do you. I'm literally just telling you why I'm a little bit wary of it. I'm not anti-vaccines. I believe that they should work. Like I said, I just don't believe that you should be fucking with people's genes unless it's well tested. Let's imagine millions of people got latent side effects like cancer. I don't think that's true at all, but let's imagine how many people do the vaccine save. I'm thinking many, many more. Trouble Fang, the problem is that the virus kills less than 1% of all the people that it infects. So, I mean, in terms of this being a very bad virus, the survival rate for people under the age of 75 is 99.96%. So, people think they're done after 2 vaccines. Makes me 1 year, not enough for me. Hey, like I said, do whatever the fuck you want. Inject yourself with whatever shit you think is necessary for you. People getting the vaccines, do you think will get serious side effects long term? Trouble Fang, maybe none. Maybe 1. Doesn't really matter. Drakbane, considering that it's literally in the statistics, like, are you saying that the world statistics are lying? Because the World Health Organization's own statistics show that the virus survival rate is 99.96% if you're under the age of 75. So, are you saying there's some conspiracy to get the whole world to fucking shut down, but then also make the statistics look as if it doesn't matter? I don't get it.
I think vaccine is an amazing thing, but for this particular vaccination, my biggest concern is that since it has become so incredibly politicized, it may motivate those who develop or authorize these things to hide things.
Zig, how you doing, bro? Thank you very much for the 100 bits, dude. Really appreciate that. I genuinely don't know how it's become such a big issue. I don't know why it's become such a politicized issue. Typhon, please share your statistics then. If you think that I am misinformed, share your statistics. Because the statistics are literally readily available for everyone to see. And the statistics are not wrong. There are far more survivors of this virus than there are. You guys do realize that literally more people die every year of TB than people die of COVID, right? So TB has a higher death rate than COVID. In Africa, at least. People die by the millions in Africa thanks to TB. So, no, the statistics do not lie. Your feelings might be hurt by it, but stats don't lie. They're there. They're right there. Lunavira, how you doing? Look, like I said, believe whatever the fuck you want. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. If you wanna, if you genuinely believe that this is a horrible thing, then go for it. I just went through it. I told you, it's fucking miserable. It's not fun. Nothing was fun about this. But at the same time, getting the flu isn't fun, right? The flu is not as bad as COVID, granted. And yes, COVID is a horrible disease, but I also think there's a lot of people that's losing their brains over things that I don't think is necessarily... Don't lose track of logic and rationality. Wins, thank you for the prime sub, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 13 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The World Health Org is investigating the World Health Org because they've done a horrible job. It's basically because people get so sensitive. Just the Chinese in China. So America, things get sensitive, politicized. I want to take a nap, but I'm gonna wait till later. Luna, your entire life is one big nap. I genuinely don't care. I don't take positions on things. I literally shared my opinion on it. If my opinion pissed you off, that's your problem. 100%. Just gonna put that out there. If you took offense to my opinions, that is a you problem, not a me problem. Not apologizing for my opinions. Also, I don't ask you to apologize for yours. If you genuinely believe that we should lock down until 2025, then fucking hell, let's you believe that, right? Did you see this abundance on PTR? Killigang, we are going to be talking about that tonight. I'm just glad you're okay, Echo. Germanian, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Respect your opinion, mate. I just disagree with you. You rock for saying what you believe on it. Vladio, I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm perfectly happy with you disagreeing. I'm perfectly okay with that. Trackbane, again, I have the statistics. And the statistics, as far as I'm concerned, unless there's some massive conspiracy here where the health organization, the World Health Organization, is now lying to the other side. Because at first they said this is a horrible, miserable disease, and now their statistics are sort of showing, well, it's actually only really dangerous for old people, which I agree. People who are vulnerable, it's very dangerous for people who have pre-existing conditions, older people, and we should do everything in our power to protect those people. But I mean, I don't necessarily get the... I don't get the game that they're playing then. Yeah, if you have a weak immune system, but then the flu can kill you if you have a weak immune system. People that have HIV die from the fucking common cold, right? Because their immune systems are compromised. So at the end of the day, I mean, yes, it is a horrible thing, but I don't necessarily think it's as bad as people make it out to be. Costco numbers of 300% just this year. Wild Boy, I agree. It's how it should be. Different people having different opinions. That is how healthy conversation happens. I mean, the reason I'm sort of skirting around people disagreeing with me is because, like I said before, this is like a political thing for me. If you want to have a conversation with me about this in detail, we can jump in the Discord and we can have that conversation, but I am only ever going to feel comfortable having this conversation as a debate with anyone if both of us have a mic. right? If I'm the only one with a mic, it's not fucking fair that I get to sit here and, for example, talk to Typhon or to Drakbane. They don't have mics, so whenever I say something, I can say 400 things, and they can only really reply with the limitations that the keyboard offers them and what chat offers them, which isn't fair, right? That's not a fair debate. So that I come back to stream 2 days before my sub ends. Lunavira, I'm still happy to have you here. I think people pick and choose when they care about stats though. The whole world picks and choose. Don't do this, Echelon. We both know where Twitch sits upon this. It's not worth it. Keep your account non-flagged. I mean, I'm just so off topic. Holy shit. We moved my parents out of the city up to a small mountain village where my bro has land because my mother has 4th stage renal cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that, Stefan. COVID could be lethal. Maybe your dick will grow hair? You think so? Finally? Might come in? As long as people can remain civil, I'm up for basically any debate. Good have fun fact. Wolverine and Deadpool cannot be circumcised. Why not? Bombay Show, let's hear it. Why can Wolverine and Deadpool not be circumcised? You're gonna say because it's gonna grow back, right? No, but will Wolverine's though? I know he has hyper, like he definitely heals faster, but will it grow back? I don't think so. If you cut off Wolverine's arm, as hard as that would be, because the steel would be very difficult to get through. But if you cut off his arm, I don't think he regrows his arm. It's not like with Deadpool, where it will eventually regrow. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, Wolverine, pretty sure if it's gone, it's gone. Wolverine just has a very hard fucking... like skeleton. His skeleton is reinforced with steel. He has steel foreskin. I mean, a steel deck would be... Wouldn't that hurt though? Take a look at the material I sent you on Discord. Vladia, I've not been able to take a look at anything, dude. So, for the last, like, 2 days or so, I've been finding it very hard to focus or concentrate on much. Just because I'm still tired. Like, the fatigue is not going away. But apparently that can sort of last quite a bit. Like, that can last at least a week or two. So hopefully the fatigue and the fucking shit removes itself. I've been trying to read Folks and Fairy Tales, the book, and I literally start and then I forget that I've been reading it. Like, I just fucking trail off, and so it's been sort of rough to keep mental faculties in check. Anything Deadpool lost before becoming Deadpool won't grow back, by the way. Yeah, true. But do we know whether or not Deadpool has been circumcised prior to becoming Deadpool? Wolverine can grow everything back, including bones. His hair grow back in a few hours. Oh, and wonder, I did not know that. Wait, are we sure about that? Are we sure about that? Bongo, thank you very much for the $20, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. And yes, I love this stream for exactly the same reason. We can literally go from the most serious topics to the most fundamental, rudimentary, fucking juvenile topics in less than 2 seconds. Alright, let's sleep. We need those infos ASAP. Oh, we're definitely going to get into it. There are voice lines of Savannah's raid fight. I know there's voice lines. I also know that there's a bit of a, shall we say, a screenshot, like, not a screenshot, a video, a transition of something happening. How big is Zuval Poo really? I mean, Zuval's Poo would be very big. A new Netflix series called Shadow and Bone. It was really good if you enjoy fantasy supernatural stuff. Tajinor, I watched that about a month ago, and I would say it's not really good. I basically put Shadow and Bone in sort of a category of its own. I think Shadow and Bone is one of those series that's good, but would you recommend it to other people to watch? Maybe. Would you say that it's one of the best series you've ever watched? Probably not. Are you going to watch season 2? Absolutely. I'm very torn, to be fair, about Shadow and Bone. I want to be a fairy and eat people who trespass in my circle. Luna, I'm trying to figure out if that is a sexual thing or if it's just very weird. The final one is quite interesting. I hope they don't destroy the Arbiter. Wait, what voice lines? I didn't see any voice lines for the Sylvanas fight. Is that new? Can someone link me the voice lines? Have you seen The Witcher? Blue Fairy, of course I've seen The Witcher. How could I not see The Witcher? The Witcher is... I mean, it's The Witcher, right? I played The Witcher. I watched the series. I've watched it about 3 times. Season 1 of The Witcher. There are so many strong characters in Shadow and Bones that it turned me off hard. I definitely agree with that. I think Shadow and Bone struggled, as far as I'm concerned, it struggled very much with... I couldn't figure out which characters I'm actually supposed to care about. It was very difficult for me to figure out, like, which characters should I be focusing on? Because they have all of these different characters, and they give all of these different characters some screen time. I'm supposed to care about the main character, but then the main character only really becomes interesting like halfway through the fucking series. I wish the mother was stronger. Which mother? Jobol? Wait, is this the voice lines?
I sense it.
All right. Do you guys want to go through the voice lines here? All right. We'll go through the fucking voice lines. I won't keep you guys waiting. Sylvanas Bolvar, Jaina, and Thrall voice lines in Sanctum of Domination raid. If there's not enough spoilers in here, I'm gonna be pissed.
I sense it too. Very clever, Anduin. What did you want us to see?
By the light. He's expanding the maw around Oribos.
Wait a second. Very clever, Anduin. What?
I sense it too. Very clever, Anduin. What did you want us to see?
All right, so first of all, we know that Anduin is in the raid, right? We know that Anduin is in the raid, thanks to a screenshot, or to this little work in progress. Alex actually sent me the screenshot of Anduin in the raid. So we know that Anduin is in the raid. The question becomes, is Anduin, in other words, actually talking to them? So Anduin is sort of, in his own way, trying to communicate with them while being mind controlled, which is just the pussy bitch move. Anduin should just give in and follow the jailer 100%, to be fair.
By the light. He's expanding the maw around Oribos. Press the attack. The jailer must be stopped. The Banshee is aiming at our heads. Sylvanas means to claim our heads. Stop her.
I wonder if she really does. Like, I'm just gonna interject here. I genuinely don't know what Sylvanas is up to. There's this. So one of the short stories that I have read is the one about the jailer Sylvanas. The story about Sylvanas where Verisa has this dream about what is happening to Sylvanas, and I'm genuinely I don't know if Sylvanas really wants to kill us here, or if Sylvanas, she finally wants to give head. Giovanni, I can get behind that. But I don't know if that is actually what Sylvanas wants, to be fair. I have the sneaky suspicion that Sylvanas is up to something else, and that story may have the story in folk and fairy tales about Verisa and Sylvanas may be foreshadowing something, but we'll get into that discussion in a bit.
There's too many of them!
Their forces are numberless. Is there no end to these creatures?
Something is limiting my magic. Where are we?
Behind our quarry. Heroes with me!
Is the jailer trying to break out of the maw? Or something else? We're out of time!
Wait, what? What did she just say there?
Is the jailer trying to break out of the maw? Or something else?
Oh my God. Oh my God. So, just very quickly, the story in Folks and Fairy Tales about the jailer, about Verisa and Verisa meeting the jailer tells Verisa about how family really is the only thing that can hurt you, and that the ties of family doesn't matter, right? Verisa at one point points to his chest, if I remember the story correctly, points to his chest and sort of says that she has the same sort of emptiness inside of her. And Zuval tells her everyone does. His is just easier to see. The hole in his chest, the emptiness that he feels. And that it was his brothers and his sisters, the very blood that ties them. They were the ones who betrayed him. They were the worst of it. This line, though, Ravy G, thank you for 21 subs, dude. Really fucking appreciate that. 34 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This line, though, is the jailer trying to break out of the maw or something else? What's that something else? Makes sense that he wants everything down in the maw. Well, he may want everything inside of the maw, mainly because he can't get out of the maw right now. But Jaina's lines here suggest that she has a sneaky suspicion that he might be doing something else.
Is the jailer trying to break out of the maw? Or something else?
Obviously, right? He is, at this point, still stuck within the maw, right? He still can't leave the maw, obviously. So it makes sense that he would be pulling everything else into the maw with him because that's where he's stuck. He can't leave. And the only way he can actually fight anything is if they're in the maw with him. So let's keep listening and see what happens next.
Or something else. We're out of time! Ouroboros is being enveloped by the maw! Hold them back a little longer.
I don't necessarily think that, so Volpen, I don't necessarily think that explains the original line. Yes, as I said already, we know that the jailer is dragging everything into maw. We saw it with Corthia. What did he do with Corthia? He pulled Corthia to the maw. Why? Because he can't leave. He can't escape. So the only way for him to get influence is to bring these things to the very realm. Remember what the Primus said. The jailer, over time, managed to turn his chains into a weapon. He's using his chains to pull the whole of the Shadowlands to his realm, where now he does have that influence. It still does not explain why he was banished. We discussed that the other day, right? They banished him because he believed the sigils to be keys to unlocking knowledge. What knowledge? What was this knowledge that he was after, right? On all the challenges more? Well, right now, yes, because he still can't get out. So right now, I do think he would want to pull everything into the maw, because at least in the maw, he can move freely.
Hold them back a little longer. The portal's nearly open. It's done. Hurry!
Fall, hero. Fuel for the maw. You always were weak.
Your crusade ends here, Banshee.
Oh. It's a bit of a flashback. Your crusade ends here. Isn't that the lines that were said to Arthas as well? Your crusade ends here. Or was it Arthas actually that said it? Shall I lay down Frostmourne and throw myself at your mercy, Fordring? No, it was Fordring that said to him, your crusade ends here. And then he said, shall I lay down Frostmourne and throw myself at your mercy, Fordring? So, what was his exact line? So, the light's vaunted justice has finally arrived. You have Sargeras as well. Brother, your crusade is over. As they were pulling him back in. So it's very interesting that those are the exact lines that's being used here.
Your crusade ends here, Banshee. This time you'll lose, Sylvanas.
This time?
Sylvanas! Give Anduin to me! You don't have to do this! Surrender!
Yield, Sylvanas, for Sourfang, for the Horde!
I shattered your throne. Now I'll break you.
I shattered your throne. What was Virimathras' lines again? When your thrones run red, and when your thrones run red with betrayal, and the broken mask hangs above your hearth, only then you will know, and it will be too late. And he said something else to the Alliance as well. What was his lines to the Alliance? Break you is an attractive line from Sylvanas. It is. When your thrones run red with betrayal, when your holy places burn and the shattered mask hangs above your hearth, only then you will know and it will be too late. Many as one, thank you very much. Yes. I shattered your throne. She says the same thing she says something else to the Horde. Tell me, when she seized your throne of hides and bone, was your allegiance forced? No, I'd wager you surrendered it willingly, or were convinced you did at the Horde. Many as one, thank you very much. All right, so this line from Sylvanas is rather interesting.
For Sourfang, for the Horde!
I shattered your throne. Now I'll break you. You will pay. All of you will pay.
Thank you, Bolvar.
I am in your debt, High Lord.
Heroes! I need aid!
Thrall, scout ahead. Champions will assist the Admiral.
My defenses falter!
Thrall won't last much longer on his own.
Fucking Thrall. This guy is really just he just holds us back, dude. Whenever Thrall is involved, we are... Oh my god. We literally spend more time saving this bastard than what he actually contributes to the overall fight. Like, such a Papega character that they've turned him into.
My defenses falter!
Thrall won't last much longer on his own. We need to reach him.
With me, champions! Jaina needs our strength. I've opened the way. Go! Stop Sylvanas! Heroes! To me! Let's regroup with Jaina!
Strike, heroes! Bring the Banshee down! Hurry! Thrall needs us! Quickly, champions! Stop Sylvanas!
Blood and thunder!
This power is not yours to command!
Interesting. This power is not yours to command. How can he say that, though?
We're done with your games, Sylvanas.
I believe we know where to find our target. Let us not keep him waiting.
The Banished One will not be stopped! Heed the call of the Banshee Queen! Death awaits you! Your lives end here! Hear the sound of suffering! Nothing escapes my wrath. All hope is lost. Darkness take you. The past shackles you. You are unfit to stand against me. Suffer my wrath. Fall into oblivion. I always hit my mark. No mercy. To the death. I never miss. Very well. Death it is. The cycle will be broken. At long last, we will have justice.
Interesting. At long last, we will have justice. She still speaks about justice. Everything... I recognize that there's a lot of people that do not like Sylvanas. I fully recognize that. And I understand it. I realize that a lot of people feel as if the Sylvanas train has been rolled out and we should move on. My issues with this, and the reason I don't necessarily agree, is once again getting back to the cycle shall be broken. At long last we shall have justice. What justice is Sylvanas referring to? Now, we could say that it's obvious, right? That the justice that Sylvanas wants is ultimately down to the Shadowlands and how the Shadowlands is set up. In her cinematic with Anduin, she makes it very clear, right? Even once you die, everything that you do in life is predetermined by forces far above your kin, right? But then once you die, those forces just continue to sort of decide your life for you. You don't get to choose. You don't get to make your own decisions. Everything is sort of predetermined, and once you die, that predetermination just continues. There is no justice. There is no freedom, right? Blue Fairy, thank you very much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Desert Rage 78, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So at the end of the day, that sort of becomes the thing that we have to unpack here. Because, yes, we could argue that, well, that's obvious. That's what Sylvanas wants. But that does not tie back into the jailer. A couple of days ago, we discussed why the jailer was banished. And we discussed how, or at least to what extent, they banished him. We still do not know what those keys were. We know, at least to my mind. Zofia, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Really appreciate that. Can we get some love in chat for Zofia and that gifted sub? Thank you, thank you, thank you. We still don't really know. Okay, so I think from a key perspective, very clear, the keys were given to them by the first ones. Now, I would actually argue that the keys were given to them by the purpose. Zofia, thank you so much for the 5 community subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we get some love in chat, some hearts in chats for Zofia? And the 5 community subs, 6 if you count the one that she accidentally gave. Zofia, I absolutely appreciate that. Thank you so much. What was I saying again? Oh, yeah. The question that I have, the main thing that sort of stands out to me is the purpose. Now, if you guys remember, when did we make this video? This was a long time ago, actually. We made a video about the purpose. And I said, I don't think the purpose is a document. I don't think the purpose is a set of rules. I think the purpose is a thing. It's a being. It's a creature. How many people in chat agree with this estimation of mine? A first one, yes. Trouble Fang. I think the purpose is a first one. I think the purpose is the first one. I think it is the purpose that gave them the sigils. The sigils that signify the sort of roles that their realms would play within the Shadowlands. For Zuval, however, these roles may have seemed arbitrary, may have seemed almost conflicting. Now, I have another thing that I want to discuss with you guys, just sort of on the nose of it. I wonder, yeah, we're gonna get into another discussion in a minute, because I sort of have a thing that I want to highlight and lay out, which I don't, it's not radiate for a video, I don't think, but it is something that's been about the old gods. The purpose is the belief that the Shadowlands follows a pattern laid out by the Arbiter in her infinite wisdom. But is this pure speculation? That's just that Tajnor, that is literally just the limited understanding that we have of the purpose of the Shadowlands. There's no confirmation of what the purpose is, because even the Arbiter is restrained by the purpose. Even the Arbiter's role is defined by the purpose. Now, if we talk about the purpose as a thing, as a living, breathing entity, as I believe it is, or whether we talk about it as a set of rules that must be sort of adhered to and keeps the entire Shadowlands at bay, there's a couple of things that stand out to me that I think we absolutely have to talk about, and this is a conversation that I promised you guys before I even got COVID. I think the Wednesday last week, I promised you that we would be having this conversation, and then obviously I got sick, so it didn't happen as much as I would have wanted it to. But everything we know about the old gods have been one entire fucking lie. Everything, every word, every notion, every promise, it's all lies. From start to finish, it's all lies. Come on, Alba, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. How many people agree with me in chat? Can I get a thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you don't? Digit, how you doing, bro? All right. What was the first time we learned about the old gods? Giovanni, I don't know. I don't think so. But what was the first time that we learned about the old gods? It was the story that was told to Sargeras. By who? Who told Sargeras about the old gods and the void? The Nathrazim. We now know that the Nathrazim worked for Sidanathrius. Sidanathrius, in turn, worked for Zuval. What did the Dread Lords tell our friend Sargeras? Well, no. Cthulhu is the first old god that we encountered. But Cthulhu is not the first time we learn about the old gods. At the time that we encountered Cthulhu, this was just an old god in Silithus. This was just something that was very old. The first time we learnt anything about them, the first time we really discovered anything about their true nature, was in the Chronicles. Even with Yog Saron, again, just an old god in Northrend, we knew very little about what this old god actually wants. However, we've always assumed that they're evil and that they must be defeated. The Chronicles were the source that told us why they're evil, Why do we believe that they're evil? Because the Titans believe that they're evil. Why do the Titans believe that they're evil? Because Sargeras believes that they're evil. Why does Sargeras believe that they're evil? Because the Dreadlords told him that they're evil. But here's the problem. Here's the big issue. What was the Dreadlords' deceit? What was the end result of their deceit? It led to Sargeras forming a crusade to destroy all life in the universe. Where would all this life go to? Hella Cruel, how you doing, bro? It led to Sargeras wanting to destroy all life in the universe. Why? Why did Sargeras believe that all life had to be destroyed in the universe? Because anyone in chat right now, please tell me. Tuck Butford, how you doing, bro? To reset the cycle. Remember what Sargeras told his Titan friends, his family. He said, if we end all life, life started once before. If we end it now, there's a chance that it could start again. So the cycle could restart itself. But this current version of the cycle was sick, and it was up to us to end it. Now, thanks to the Shadow Brokers, or the Brokers, right? We now know, according to them at least, the universe was built on this singular sort of axis. The primary axis, if you will, of the universe, which is life and death. Everything that lives will die, and things that die will live again, right? So it's the endless cycle. Sylvanas wishes to break this, so we know that this is the jailer's work. The jailer wishes to break the cycle. He wishes to end this eternal cycle of life and death, always moving. How did he put Sargeras in this sort of train of thought? He had to create a boogeyman, something powerful enough that Sargeras would believe it. He couldn't just tell Sargeras, hey, end all life in the universe so that we can get fat and strong and as the eternal ones, and then, you know, we can all feast on the souls of the living. Sargeras wouldn't have gone for that. Sargeras was far too honorable. So he had to do something with Sargeras that made sense. Sargeras spent all of his life, literally the vast majority of his waking life, fighting demons, fighting the threats of the universe. So he had to create something that was an even bigger threat. Something that Sargeras couldn't fight head on. He created the Void. The Void Lords, the evil ones, the ones that will infect the world, and if a Titan ever wakes up that was Void infected, then the whole world surely will come to an end, right? That's the story that the Dreadlords told Sargeras. But what does N'Zoth tell us about all of this? Actually, let's start with Azshara. What does Queen Azshara tell us about all of this? Remember, for a long time, Queen Azshara actually served N'Zoth. Now, she did do it out of necessity, and I'm sure that she wasn't fully aligned with N'Zoth's plans. But when Sylvanas meets Queen Azshara, Azshara says to Sylvanas, as Sylvanas leaves, treacherous Banshee, do you think me blind to the darkness you seek to unleash? And then Azshara says that she is going to claim the throne of ultimate power. That's where she is now. God knows where that is, but she is heading to wherever the ultimate power lies within the universe. That's what she's looking for. What did N'Zoth tell us about Sylvanas? Anyone in chat? Bombay, you are correct there. But maybe the light that infects the person, the battle for the soul energy. But what did N'Zoth himself tell us about Sylvanas? Can anyone remember that whisper? The light in the void and Turalian and his son Arator. Alright. Zuval tells us, I can't remember the exact whisper. Not Zuval, N'Zoth, excuse me. I can't remember the exact whisper, the exact words of the whisper. So I do apologize. This is paraphrasing. There's too many whispers in the game for me to remember every single one of them off by heart. But he warns us that Sylvanas will use the helm to rip open, to unleash darkness. And then N'Zoth says, only I can save you from this fate. That's N'Zoth's words. N'Zoth warns us about what Sylvanas wants to do prior to her doing it. He says that she's going to use the helm to unleash darkness upon the world, and that it is only he that can save us from this darkness. If you start going through the old gods and what they've done and how they've sort of always presented themselves to the universe, the Titans make their creations, right? The Titans make the Titan Keepers and the constructs. What do the old gods do? They give them choice. They give them freedom. The curse of flesh is so much more than just a curse of flesh. It's freedom. Prior to this freedom, constructs would have had to follow blindly whatever the Titans asked of them. Now, only I can save this world, yield and serve. Massey, thank you very much. Yes. So here's my... if we look at the old gods through the scope of H.P. Lovecraft, which is the sort of inspiration behind the old gods, and we look at the outer gods that H.P. Lovecraft created, the outer gods never wanted to destroy. They are, according to H.P. Lovecraft, they're outside the scope of good or evil. And we've heard multiple interviews with Steve Denuser, multiple interviews with Ian Izzy-Costas. They've all sort of reiterated this point. The forces like void, order, death, life, these forces are outside the scope of morality. They're outside the scope of good or evil. They exist effectively for themselves, right? They have their own goals, and our sort of limited scope of view of good or evil does not apply to them. Now, this is straight from the H.P. Lovecraft universe, because that's what H.P. Lovecraft said about the outer gods. They don't subscribe to our petty notions of good or evil. But the outer gods wanted to set humanity free. Free to do as they wanted without the rules and regulations that is put upon it by, at that point, you know, one could have made multiple arguments, I suppose, religion, culture, whatever it may be. So, based on this, what are the chances that Zuval himself saw the unfairness within the creation of the universe, how the universe was set up, how the universe was made into this endless cycle where mortals and beings would have no choice but to obey. And if you think about the Eternal Ones, that's exactly what they are. If you think about the Titans, that's exactly what they are. They obey regardless. They never change their ways. It's very difficult to get them to change their ways. They're all effectively blind. Northern, 100% agree with your statement there. They're blind. They sort of coax through they coax through life based solely upon the belief in the purpose, right? All of them. The Arbiter, from the Arbiter all the way down to the Primus, they all believe in this purpose. And that this purpose is the thing that keeps the world ticking. What if Zuval's only crime was the questioning of this purpose? Now this throws things into far more, shall we say, flux. Because this boils down to, were Zuval and the other Eternal Ones actually created by the First Ones? Or were the First Ones simply powerful enough to impose their will upon the Titans and the Eternal Ones of our universes? Because up until now, we've sort of agreed, everyone just sort of accepted that the First Ones, of course, they made the Titans. The Titans are their children. But what if that's not true? What if the First Ones were simply the ones who imposed the rules on these beings of the cosmos? And that Zuval were one of the first to say, fuck you. You don't get to tell me what to do. These sigils that you've given me clearly points to some kind of power, right? We already know that. Again, thanks to recent data leaks, we now know, or data mines, we now know that the reason Zuval was banished is because he believed the sigils that they were given were keys to forgotten knowledge, to incredible knowledge. We know that he tortured the Primus, at that point the Rune Carver, to unlock the secrets that the First One sought to hide. Right? If we go back, we can watch that cinematic if you want. Right? The keys to the secret, the artifacts to the... What did he say there again? I'm trying to remember now. My fucking brain is not working as intended. I do apologize.
Look at you, pathetic. A puppet dancing on strings. I will not break. I will not break.
This line now has far more sort of relevance to me. Look at you, pathetic. A puppet dancing on strings. What if he wasn't just referring to him being chained inside the maw, but rather referring to him as a genuine puppet to the First Ones? Macmillan, how you doing, bro?
Look at you, pathetic. A puppet dancing on strings. I will not break. I will not break. I will not. Fool, your mind is already broken. But even a broken thing can be made to serve. Countless secrets extracted. Insidious designs forged into weapons for my armies. But I require your grandest desire to claim final prize. The secret that the First One sought to hide.
The secret that the First One sought to hide. Papa Shango, how you doing, bro? Stacey, how you doing? What if the knowledge that Zaval was looking for was how to create life just as the First Ones before him did, and he's trying to reverse engineer the power used to create the sigils? Stacey, I don't necessarily think that he wants to create life. He seems far more interested in death. Luna, how you doing? Hope you're feeling better. I am indeed. How are you? Or Lunari, actually. final prize and the secret, is it the same thing? Azeroth Titan? Well, the secret that the first one sought to hide, and it is to claim the final prize, right? Could it be Azeroth? What if those sigils is what is required to unlock Azeroth? That's the keys that he's been looking for. Remember, he also said at the beginning of Shadowlands, one of his servants during the pre-patch said that the Banished One will claim what was his. And he also says death comes for the soul of your world. Every one of the Covenants recreate the sigils in the Race of the Campaign story in 9.1. They seem easy to make. The sigils may be easy to make, but the original ones, it may be that the original ones is what's required to open the door, right? I mean, you have the 5 keys already, right? 5 keys to open the way, 5 torches to light the path. And then, of course, you have the other whisper that says 5 torches, 5 lanterns now darkened, right?
Yes. Finest warblade. And a crown fit for the king of the damned.
It has to have something to do. It has to have something to do with Sylvanas. Not Sylvanas, with Azeroth. It has to. Because at the end of the day, these things were sent to Azeroth. The King of the Damned was sent to Azeroth, and it was again by the design of the jailer, because it was the Dreadlords that sort of directed Sargeras. The 5 keys, reality, the secret knowledge is Unreal Engine 5. No, the King of the Damned is the Lich King. It's the one who guards the dead, right? That would not be the King of Maldraxxus. No. But that's my sort of speculation theory. I don't know, like, I don't know if many of you or any of you would even agree with this, but that's my theory. I do not believe that the old gods are as bad as people say. I think everything we've learned about the old gods and about the void was from literally the infiltrators, the greatest infiltrating force in the history of the universe, made up a story and we all just gobbled it down. Like, yeah, let's not ask questions about this. Let's just believe it. So I don't think the void is as bad as has been made out. I'm also sort of interested to see how the cycle plays out. What exactly is it about the cycle that bothers the jailer? Why is the cycle, according to him, so very evil? Because one could talk about reforms, right? If you had a problem with how the Shadowlands was being run, surely it wouldn't be that hard to reform it, right? Like, you could reform it. So why is he interested in destroying it? I genuinely don't know. And before the Titans of the first ones, just called as such by the Eternals because they were the makers by a different name. I don't know if I would like that, though. I don't think I would like that. I don't think any of the galactic forces are evil or good. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that, Vorgol, just to your point. So I've never made any secret of this. I do love the bad guys in video games. I've always been a massive fan of the bad guys in video games. Mass Effect, the Reapers, which, by the way, if you've never played Mass Effect, you absolutely should. But the Reapers in Mass Effect, I was a big fan of the Reapers. I am again now as I'm playing Mass Effect again. In The Witcher, The Wild Hunt, very big fan of them. I think bad guys are oftentimes more interesting than good guys, at least for me, right? You should add a Hydrate Point award because I've made it my job in every stream I watch. made what your job, Luna? There will problems, kill Echo, and all evil stops. The thing is, evil characters add more juiciness to a story. It makes a story more fun, more fun, and it moves the story forward. A good evil character, a good bad guy, can make all the difference in whether or not a story is good or bad, right? So I am a big fan of bad guys. Generally speaking, huge fan of bad guys. Mosh pit chat, let's go. Understand, but don't change purpose of terms. Hey, if the terms of service is completely wrong, then you should be changing it, shouldn't you? Evil guy is a chaotic type anti-hero, not a real bad guy. Depends though. The Reapers, for example, is just straight up bad guys, but they're one of the most interesting bad guys you will ever meet in a video game ever. Can I just see, is there anyone, how many people here have played Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3? Just by a show of hands, how many people have played Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3? Andromeda. I've never played Andromeda. I refuse to. But 1, 2, and 3 is absolutely amazing. It is, as far as story goes, it's one of the best stories in video game history. 100%. That game is what made BioWare the #1 RPG company in the gaming industry. Was Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I've been replaying it, and it's the Legendary Edition, the remake, and it is just as good. It's just as fucking good as it's ever been before, because every choice matters in that game. Your choices really do carry a lot of weight. There's so much that you learn. I require a way to yell at you, notably to drink water. That is my job. Luna, just yell it. You could ask one of the mods to make some kind of fucking redeemable thing that you could just exclamation point hydrate. I do sort of wonder about Anduin. I don't know if Anduin is going to... Nico Spider, how you doing, by the way? Do you guys think Anduin's just going to go back to being a good guy again? Fucking water, love from Runa. Yeah, you could have something like that. Jailer's thoughts, Palpatine, though? I don't necessarily think so, but okay. What if Azeroth is the first one and the sigils are keys to reawaken her? That's why every force in the cosmos is drawn to her. So I wouldn't like that, personally. I don't want... I've always said this. I don't want the first ones to be characters or creatures that we already know about. I want the first ones to be things that we only learn about later on. Because I think if it's characters and creatures that... So if it, for example, turns out that Azeroth is the first one, that makes the story very boring. Because that means that the first ones were born similarly to the fucking rest, right? Like, to the Titans. There's no difference. At command, hydrate. Luna requires you to consume liquid. Do it now. Well, there you go, Luna. Now you have it. I think Anduin will turn away from the fanaticism of the light. I want Anduin to realize that Sylvanas is onto something. And then I want Anduin to stand with her. I think Anduin will turn away from fanaticism. First one should be beings that we learn about, meet once we go into the cosmic disco war. The question, of course, becomes, should we go into the cosmic wars? Because I realize for a lot of us, like myself, that is a big draw, right? A lot of us really wants this. we want to go to a cosmic scale. The question, of course, is should we? Because there are a lot of people that doesn't care about the story as much as the rest of us do. And for them, it might not be as much fun to go even more cosmic. Akko is like a wannabe Joker, just pushing one bad day argument. Odo, what do you mean? I think the jailer is going to drag us into it by throwing Azeroth into it. That's the only logical path. Not necessarily. I don't care for the story as much anymore either. It's getting too big. I don't necessarily think it's getting too big. I like how big it is, but I do think that Blizzard is on the cusp of making the story almost unbelievably big. They need to find better tie-ins, because right now the problem with the story is if you want to tell a massive story, you have to find ways to tie that story into the player base. The problem is right now the story seems very fractured, and it doesn't feel as if the story it really has a foundation to stand on. Who are we though? We are just mortals from a single world. What stakes do we have in the Cosmic War? Well, it depends what the Cosmic War is all about, right? She would just keep getting stronger. Imagine if Chromie was the first one. I think Anduin is going to realize both the light and death aren't what he thought they were. That so-called good or moral people are only ever one bad day from chaos and evil because it's in their very shackled natures. Players who just play the game haven't got a clue what's going on. But if we branch out, there is still so much more to the universe. This prison is only a small part of it. Agreed. Darkblade, how you doing, bro? You think that Suval had Sylvanas burn Teldrassil, so he pulls... Yes, Darkblade, that's my speculation at least. We are absolutely nothing. Makes no sense how we have any agency even within the story, not even mentioning the zero agency in-game. Don't even get me started on the agency in-game. It's one of my biggest pet peeves at the moment with World of Warcraft is the fucking lack of agency. It's fine for there to be big threats, but not every threat has to be dealt with by us. It cheapens the impact of these supposedly... Groy Ralim, I really appreciate that comment, and I do agree with you. The problem at the moment is I think Blizzard is throwing far too many big threats at the player base without us ever really touching base and just sort of getting back to normal, right? Getting back to what World of Warcraft is supposed to be about before we venture off again and go destroy some fucking big evil thing, right? So I 100% agree with that. What do you think about what Caretaker Cthulhu and Oribos says? While we maintain Oribos, the workings of the purpose are divine and opaque to us. The purpose is ancient, possibly beyond our comprehension. This technology is divine. Many as one, remember, they themselves know nothing of the purpose, so they believe that it is a technology. They have no clue. We'll have to wait for the book about the Shadowlands to actually know, like from the brokers. The sausage boy is here? Which sausage boy? The Titans Nara were divine till we learned otherwise. It's difficult, and there's so much bad news. How many of you read the IGN article, the special report? Because the bad news just keeps coming, guys. There's so much bad news. Abador, thank you so much to sub. Really fucking appreciate that. 15 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not really, Akron. How are you, Avador? People wouldn't feel as good by killing Hogger and Stockades after fighting Internals, or God forbid fighting Horde versus Alliance. Darkblade, if you do it well, you don't have to fight Hogger, right? If you do it well, you can have some really cool infighting. You can have some very cool shit. Nicola, how you doing, bro? I just want to show you guys something before we continue. Alex have out fucking done himself. Absolutely outdone himself. How in the fuck am I gonna make this bigger? No. Let's go stores. I want to show you guys this. How many of you have seen the new merch that Alex has been making? For those toxic as fuck shirts again, thank you for helping me make Father's Day special. It's all Alex. I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with this, Avador. I can't make shit with my hands or with any sort of program whatsoever. So it's all Alex. I had nothing to do with it. Just quickly go down here. I need to find a way to delete some of these fucking merch items. I don't know how to delete things. I wish I did. Probably gonna have to fucking reach out to them and ask them to delete certain things. But I want to show you this. So first of all was this fucking shirt. Look at this Dark Lady shirt. Tell me this Dark Lady shirt isn't fucking banging, bro. Why is it not loading all the good shit? No! This is why I hate Teespring. Why are you fucking breaking, bro? Go get more merch. This merch is really cool, though. Like, Alex outdid himself with this. What it is, too small and mobile. The fucking, like, sadly, I'm in South Africa, and Teespring doesn't have a South African shop. So it is stupidly slow. Didn't want to post yet. Post what, Digit? Just out of curiosity, do you believe in Sylvanas, even when she says no more lies? Like, if there is still something or more letting us not know. I do believe that Sylvanas is telling the truth, yes. See this? I fucking hate this whenever the shop does this. Come on, you bastard. Also, why can't I just organize it better? Why must it be like this? Alright, these are the shirts that I wanted to tell you guys. Look at this. Look at those toxic as fuck shirts. Like, I want this. The problem is if I order it off of Teespring, it takes 6 months to get to South Africa. But I want this. So glad I didn't go with a square box of the Dark Lady one. The uneven edging works so much better. Keep the effort. They shown back in Wrath of the Lich King. We'll talk about that in a second. This is my favorite shirt, by the way. To the UK, I think the last time someone from the UK ordered it took like 3 days or something. Jumanio. You want all your signs very dark colored? Try out Chrome extension, Dark Reader. It saved my eyes. I'll check it out. But I want these. I want this shirt. The problem is I'm gonna wait so long to get it. Anyways, let's talk about what I actually wanted to talk about. How many of you have seen this? Jamanio, I appreciate that. Yeah, I read through it as well. Just very quickly scanned it. So it's a special report. It's another special report. This has been done quite a few times. Now, I do want to sort of highlight, before we get into anything else, you have to ask yourself whether you... Because here's the problem. If you are truthful and honest, sometimes it's a big deal for me. Enough lunch, what do you mean? Big deal for you. just sub for 6 months. Where? You know, on the channel. If you've been a sub for 6 months on the channel, and actually, how you doing? So, I realize as a content creator, most of you are very bored with the sort of negative stuff about World of Warcraft. And I realize that. And that's one of the reasons I don't make my channel about negativity. For the most part, I try to keep negativity out of the channel as much as humanly possible. But how many people in chat right now? Like just now? All right. How many of you in chat right now feel as if something's wrong at Blizzard? Maybe you don't know exactly what is wrong at Blizzard, but you do feel that something is wrong. Something is not quite right. Pop up until your next renewal. 100%. I think something is. I do for sure. So there's actually a lot of you that think something isn't quite right. So I've been feeling as if there's something wrong at Blizzard since sadly Legion, and not because Legion was bad. Legion was pretty good. But in Legion already, there were a bunch of things that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, that I just could not wrap my head around. And I think there's a video that I'm busy making, that I'm busy working on. It's probably going to be the next sponsored video for the channel. Where I sort of want to talk about the differences I've been seeing with Blizzard long enough to be able to tell, so don't want to comment about that. Lunari, how long have you been playing World of Warcraft games? But, so I've been... Tell me if what I'm saying to you now rings true to you as well, or if you think, nah, dude, that's not really something I feel. Blizzard feels so afraid of creating gameplay systems that players do not interact with, that they're more obsessed with how do we force players to interact with our gameplay systems than they are with actually making the gameplay systems good. Does what I say make any fucking sense? Like every single time they come up with a thing, it's as if they take Torghast. We've used Torghast a million times before, but we'll use Torghast as an example as well. Soul Ash really doesn't feel like it belongs in Torghast. Torghast should have been a standalone feature. It should have been a feature that's only tied to cosmetics. But Blizzard was so afraid that people wouldn't do Torghast if there wasn't some sort of reason for them to do it, that they had to tie Soul Ash to it. And then the very reason that they tied Soul Ash to it is the thing that destroyed it. For 1 month in 2017 and came back 1 month before Shadowlands, had only 3 months of the 6-pack, but I'd enjoy it because I didn't force myself to do shit I don't want to do. I agree with what you're saying there, Lunari, and for a lot of people that's true, but unfortunately for a lot of other people, they are forced to do things that they don't want to do. And I think the biggest thing for me, and this is what I never understand. So here's a statement, tell me if it's true or false. You can absolutely make a game where every single person that plays the game loves every single feature of the game. True or false? Why not? Why can't you do that? Pull the messages: family, honor, truth, brotherhood, bond, sacrifice. Like asking every person to enjoy doing laundry. Different people have their own idea of a fun system. All right, most of you have the right answer there, and I agree with all of you. Then why the fuck does Blizzard keep forcing everyone to do everything in their game? If we've all just established it's impossible to make a game that's fun in every single regard for every single person that plays it, why is Blizzard so hellbent on forcing every single person into every element of their game? Does that not seem to all of you as a little bit counterintuitive? Like, do you not think that's a little bit counterintuitive? That is the equivalent of your... I wanted to say this, but let's not make that example work, because it's very much below the belt. Let's not get into the sexy, freaky shit this early on in the stream. But it doesn't force people into more game time. If anything, it forces people out of the game. Bombay Show, I don't necessarily agree with that, nor do I care about that. Get your nose off to spite your face. The thing is, more engagement comes from people having fun. So let me give you the best example I have for what I would consider to be the perfect expansion. And it's not necessarily one of the best expansions. I'm just saying a perfect expansion. Well balanced, works as it should. And I'm using this one specifically because it wasn't necessarily one of the best expansions Blizzard have ever come up with. Cataclysm. Cataclysm had its flaws, but for the most part, Cataclysm worked. Why did it work? Well, because the only character that I ever did all of the dailies on for every single faction up until Exalted was on my Warlock. For all of my alts, I would level my alt, and then I would sort of do one or two of the reputations, because the reputation vendors would have some sort of recipes that I wanted, like a transmutation recipe or maybe an alchemy recipe, flask recipe. There was a few recipes on some of the vendors that I needed. I didn't have to do all of them again because I already did them on my main. So those didn't matter. It was literally just one or two that I would do. And for the rest of it, I got into max level, and then I would instantly go do dungeons. I would get into the raids, and I would have fun doing the thing. Because here's the thing, right? Why do people level alts? Why is alts so... And by the way, there was never any talk back in Cataclysm of catch-up mechanics for alts. I don't remember catch-up mechanics being a thing up until Legion. Quite frankly, I think Legion was the first time people started talking about catch-up mechanics. Because prior to that, what catch-up mechanics? Like, you literally need nothing, right? As soon as you get max level, you go do dungeons, you get your gear, you go do raids, you get your gear, and then you do the raids. All of the things that you're doing in order to get to max level is things that you enjoy doing. One of the reasons you like leveling alts is because you enjoy the content through a different lens. That's one of the reasons I leveled so many alts. In Warlords of Draenor, I had one of every single alt, and I was raiding on about 6 or 7 of them at a fairly high level, and on 2 of them at max level, because I enjoyed raiding, and raiding is very different. If you do a raid on a mage, it's very different to doing the raid on a warlock. If you do it on a warrior, it's very different to a mage. A rogue is different to a warrior. So every single character or alt that you take into the max level raid will change your experience in that raid, and that's sort of why I played the game. The game didn't force me to do anything I didn't want to do. It just gave me a bunch of things to do, and I could sort of do what I wanted. That's it. So at the end of the day, I spent far more time. If we really want to talk about engagement metrics, I logged on in Warlords of Draenor. Let's use Warlords of Draenor as a good example. I logged on every single day in Warlords of Draenor for an average of 6 to 7 hours a day playing Warlords of Draenor. I haven't logged on to play that much since Legion. I've never logged on for 6 or 7 hours at a time to play the game. I just don't, because there's nothing for me to do. I don't want to level an alt and then go through all the same things that my main had to go through. Because at the end of the day, that's not... I don't level alts so that I can do more World Quest 2.0 or do more fucking Torghast. I level alts so that I can do very specific things with him. It happens to be Torghast, by the way. I level my alts. I just leveled a Demon Hunter because I want to go into Torghast with my Demon Hunter. That's why I level the alt. I don't want to do World Quest 2.0. I just want to do Torghast, right? The problem is I have to do World Quest 2.0 because I still have the Covenant quest lines to do. I have all of this other shit that needs doing. And all of this just seems like Blizzard themselves do not understand that they are their own worst enemy. And this is an MMORPG? What do you mean? See, there are people who just like to do max level dungeons and raids, and they just be satisfied if they log to the game and open Castle Nathria and beat constant Denathrius. Northern, I don't quite understand what you mean. I made the mistake of doing the Threads of Fate to my priest. I've been almost 60 for what feels like forever. Sorry all, I went for a run, now I'm back. What I miss? Stray, how you doing? Welcome back. At least there are no fucking turtles in Shadowlands. The funny thing is, the only time I'm on WoW that long now is to do old content. I think there's a balance in time spent leveling. BFA is too fast, Classic is too long. Last time I leveled alts and enjoyed... leveling would not be a problem, by the way, if leveling was actually fun. And enjoyed it was Legion, because class quests made the experience different each time. Nicky Spider, I can agree with that. I still had in Legion all of my alts, like one of every single class. Turtle Soul Shape, yes, Turtle in Shadowlands, bruv. I'm happily staying out of WoW. I want to be able to choose. I think everyone is sort of feeling it. You now even have the most stalwart of defenders of Blizzard, right? People that barely ever say anything negative about Blizzard, sort of coming out of the woodwork and saying, well, you know, this is sort of annoying and this is sort of annoying. You have Taliesin saying it. You have Towley saying it. And I don't want to put words in their mouth, but their defense of Blizzard have become far more watered down than what it used to be, right? So at the end of the day, I think even content creators that used to be very much the only people I would say that's still very positive and still really doesn't say anything negative about World of Warcraft would be Soul So Breezy. Maybe Mr. GM, although I don't know how he is during his streams. I'd have to watch his streams to know if he's different. But for the most part, I think the vast majority of content creators have sort of gone, nah. To be fair, it's not even about angry. I'm not angry. I just don't necessarily agree with their direction. And I don't understand why. Why do they not listen to the player base? I struggled just to level my main and 2 alts because it was so damn boring. Shadowlands didn't change that much, sadly. We have some hardcore gamers who just want only to do dungeons and raids best as they could, and they honestly piss on lore and make us physical stuff about we speak. Novan, but that's fine. You should be allowed to do that, right? No, Soul voiced concerns because, like I said, I don't watch a lot of other content creators. I'm really hating on Battle at the moment. Well, let them hate. I mean, there are some people that just don't give a fuck. Not angry, just tired. Mary, how you doing? Player base are against each other. Some love Shadowlands. Some think there is nothing to do. No one loves Shadowlands. That is a complete misnomer. That's completely wrong. I have legitimately, and I want to say this very clearly, the defense from people that I hear is, oh, I don't mind that. What kind of fucking defense is that for something? I don't mind my job, right? Most people don't mind their job. However, if you had to pay your boss in order to do your job, you wouldn't be doing the fucking job, would you? If I am paying $60 and $15 a month for a game, I don't mind it is not a valid defense of anything in a fucking game. A game is meant to be fun. Not minding it is not the same as having fun. So at the end of the day, the people that's saying, oh, I don't mind this, that's literally, no. That's not a defense of your game. You love Shadowlands? You love everything in Shadowlands, Valpen? So literally everything in Shadowlands. So explain Twitch streamers? Or what do you mean? Explain Twitch streamers. What do you want me to explain about Twitch streamers? If you don't like it, don't pay. Easy. Or is it's not necessarily that easy? Because again, it ignores a very big part of what people are complaining about. Everyone that's critical of World of Warcraft have some things that they really enjoy in the game. And the reason they're paying is because they do enjoy those things. They just fucking wish that Blizzard would stop forcing them into other things that they don't fucking like. People subscribe to hate some Twitch streamers. I don't know if there's really people who subscribe just to hate on Twitch streamers. That seems like a massive waste of money. I wish I could get some of those hate subscribers. For me, what keeps me tied to Blizzard is the story. Gameplay is just a chore. There is a disconnect for me of gameplay and story, at least right now. So unsubbed at the moment. I don't play retail anymore. I get my lore from you, and I'm playing for TBC. See, I don't really care about it. I love Condor Lineage. Just kidding. I don't hate Blizzard or what's going on in WoW anymore because I am now indifferent. Most of the reason I play is because of the social aspect. But social aspect isn't enough to justify the money because the social aspect would still be there even if the game is very fucking good, right? Let's just quickly see here, right? So this first bet is just Jeff Kaplan leaving. Was the last person that we would have a conversation about. How long is he going to last? In an effort to understand what's been happening at Blizzard, I spoke to multiple current and former Blizzard employees, some on the condition of anonymity. I was also able to speak on the record with 3 veteran Blizzard directors, all of whom have been with the company for more than 10 years now, as well as analysts on the record, as well as analysts and investors familiar with the company's current circumstances. That's quite interesting. On the record, meaning their names and everything will be available, or the picture that emerges is complicated. Many of the developers I spoke to are still loyal to what Blizzard represents in their mind. Ferorius, thank you for the 50 bits, dude. Oh my Christ. Fuck you, Ferorius. Fuck you, Ferorius. What the... How long? I think it's broken now. Dragon Wolf, how you doing, bro?
777,777,777,777,777.
All right, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Zergirl, how you doing, bro? That was fucked up. Fuck you, Ferorius. Alex, how you doing, bro? In an effort to understand, I spoke to multiple current and, some on the condition of anonymity. I was also able to speak on the record with 3 veteran Blizzard directors, all of whom have been with the company for more than 10 years now, as well as analysts and investors familiar with the company's current circumstances. The picture that emerges is complicated. Many of the developers I spoke to are still loyal to what Blizzard represents in their mind, even if they are more mixed on some of the changes to it over the past few years. But even if they are fond of Blizzard's history and culture, many are still choosing to leave. Some of the departures are a natural consequence of the burnout that comes, and that I think is true. If you've worked on the same game for a very long time, of course you are going to get bored and you are going to want to move on. The problem, however, with that argument is Blizzard have multiple projects that people could move to, right, if they really wanted to. Darkblade, thank you very much for hanging out. Did really appreciate it. Same game for more than a decade. Others are because they sense an opportunity to chase their dream project in an industry currently awash with Dreamhaven. That's what it means here. It's not venture capital, it's Dreamhaven. And some are because they feel Blizzard has been on the decline over the past 3 or 4 years amid layoffs, budget cuts, and a lack of major releases, and that it's time to move on. This has left Blizzard at a crossroads, and it's unclear what this will mean for the beloved publisher as it tries to chart a return to the glory that defined its best years. 5 years ago this month, Blizzard released Overwatch. It was hailed as a redemption story after the struggles of Project Titan, which had languished in development for years. Keller, who worked on both Titan and Overwatch, remembered the elevating feeling the team had as the company celebrated Overwatch's success. You almost feel like you're really not broken anymore in a certain sense, Keller says, laughing. It's always amazing to ship a project that people love, but to do it right after Titan, I think that made it even more special. Where is Overwatch now, if I may ask? Can anyone sort of tell me? Your voice recovered from COVID, nice. Rates, not really. It's listen to the beginning of the stream and then listen to the voice now. It's not great. Blizzard collectively exhaled when Overwatch was released. It was a badly needed win after a period in which major releases including Diablo 3, StarCraft 2 and Heroes of the Storm, all struggled to one degree or another between 2012 and 2016, after struggling so hard for so long to figure out what was next after World of Warcraft. Blizzard finally seemed to have an answer, and then they fucked it. One source described what followed as a little renaissance, with Overwatch becoming the company's fastest game to reach 25 million registered players, and Hearthstone defining a billion-dollar game category virtually overnight. Blizzard reportedly doubled its number of internal teams from 6 to around 13. This, by the way, is one of the first issues I see within Blizzard Entertainment. I think they have too many teams, excuse me. I think there are far too many teams working on far too much. And as with basically any business in the restaurant industry, this is very true. When the menu gets too big, the restaurant fails. You can't have that many teams working all independently from one another, trying to figure out what the fuck is next and still keep track of what everyone is doing. Bureaucracy is a good word for it, Andy. While building up an incubation initiative intended to experiment with new game concepts. The Overwatch League was founded in 2017 and kicked off its inaugural season in 2018. New initiatives were spinning up left and right, a source says, with money seemingly no object. To my mind, this was still Blizzard's biggest mistake ever. They were so desperate for an esports that they forced it, and that force eventually... Who the fuck watches the Overwatch League? By game industry standards, Blizzard has always led a charmed existence. Its history has encompassed a string of genre-defining hits, beginning with Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, and continuing on through Diablo, StarCraft and World of Warcraft. Its success created a unique culture in which employees would routinely stay for years or decades, a rarity in the fast-moving, unpredictable games industry. In a 2016 documentary, veteran developer Chris Metzen, fresh off the launch of Overwatch, articulated Blizzard's worldview. What are we really doing? Are we just selling product for a corporation? I guess that's a part of it. Well, I will say that's a big part these days of what Blizzard does. I mean, you gotta sell that shit for Bobby Kotick. I guess that's a part of it, but we're artists and craftsmen and technologists and writers and poets and all these other things coming together to build something greater than any of us could have ever achieved on our own. That has always been the story of Blizzard. What are we prepared to spend the next 5 years of our lives on together? This strong sense of pride informs a lot of the culture at Blizzard, and its development teams have tended to be tight-knit and very stable over the years. Many of its employees are also fans. World of Warcraft director Ian Hazikostas, not much liked at the moment within the World of Warcraft universe, was a self-described hardcore World of Warcraft guild leader who ran a community site and corresponded with Blizzard developers. Diablo Immortal director, of course, Wyatt Cheng grew up playing Lost Vikings and tells IGN he applied to Blizzard 4 times in 6 years before finally being accepted to Blizzard North. Its history gives it a pull equaled by few other companies. Sorry I've been absent, missed the show. Animus, how you doing, bro? It was a dream come true when I was able to walk through the gates of Blizzard and turn my hobby into a career, into a vocation. It can indeed be a very fun place to work. For holiday parties, Blizzard will rent out Disney California Adventure for an evening for its employees. Okay, I don't give a fuck about any of this. It has done its share to keep Blizzard employees rooted in place for years, making it a comparative bastion of stability in the often turbulent games industry. But events in recent years have eroded that culture, pushing many within Blizzard to begin looking for jobs elsewhere. By 2018, the little renaissance was giving way to the growing understanding that Blizzard was a long way from releasing any new games. Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 weren't ready to be announced, and the incubation initiative had yet to bear any fruit. It was this realization that sent Blizzard scrambling when it came time to make its customary round of announcements at BlizzCon 2018. It cobbled together a slate featuring Warcraft 3 Reforged and updates to its established games, and it was left to Cheng to lead BlizzCon with Diablo Immortal, a mobile game that famously prompted one fan to ask, "Is this a joke?" Which wasn't exactly what he asked. I think he asked, "Is this April Fool's? Is this an April Fool's?" Right? This is what he actually asked. This we already knew, thanks to Jason Schreier. Out of season April Fool's joke, exactly. Jason Schreier already made this clear in his first expose on Blizzard, highlighting that they had nothing to show. This is why 2018's BlizzCon was so miserable. Looking back on BlizzCon 2018, Cheng says hindsight is 2020. When it comes to the decision to open BlizzCon with Diablo Immortal, we all thought that no one was really making mobile games at the quality that we wanted to see. I think that we had not yet announced Diablo 4, we had not yet announced Diablo 2 Resurrected from our vantage point. Cheng, if hindsight was 2020, you would understand exactly why this flopped, which is another big fucking issue. It wasn't about the quality of the game. It was the platform of the fucking game. You went to a PC-heavy audience with small, albeit prevalent, console gamers within it, and you announced a fucking mobile game. Mobile. At a PC convention. The vast majority of your players there are playing PC games. We don't need mobile games, we've got a fucking PC. Diablo Immortal sparked controversy, not just because fans were disappointed by the lack of Diablo 4, but because it was developed primarily by NetEase, a Chinese mobile developer with support from Blizzard. Privately, some within Blizzard refer to it as the outsourced game. Cheng argues that his team wants to elevate standards on mobile, but concedes that Blizzard didn't do a good job of communicating that. In retrospect, that is not a perspective that was easily seen, nor do we do a good job communicating. It's not the audience's job to take all that in, it's our job to communicate that better and to bring them along with us. And we didn't do a good job of that. I think fast forward 3 years and people do know about Diablo 2, and it clearly was in development for quite some time. People do see Diablo 2 Resurrected again, clearly in development for quite some time. Diablo 2 Resurrected was reportedly set to release in June 2020, but was pushed back for more development time as Warcraft 3 Reforged development team was dissolved and Vicarious Visions was merged into Blizzard. Chastened, Blizzard sought to reverse the narrative by going big on BlizzCon 2019 and announcing Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. Blizzard was indeed able to give its fans reasons to be excited again, lifting spirits within the company in turn, but their release was still years away. While Blizzard hosted a major Overwatch 2 live stream just yesterday, it won't be out until 2022 at the earliest. Speaking with IGN over the phone, analyst Andrew Irkwitz, a managing director at the financial services firm Jefferies, speculated it could be as late as 2023 before Blizzard releases Overwatch 2, possibly to align with the 5th anniversary of the Overwatch League. Sure, because that fucking matters. What mattered was that they said nothing about their PC releases and they just announced. Taganor, the reason all of that matters, Diablo Immortal should probably have been a footnote mentioned right after the announcement of all of the other PC games that they had coming. It's a footnote. No one cares. There are actual conventions for mobile video games in the world. If you want to announce your mobile video game, go to one of those fucking conventions. Go bother the people there. Do not bother us, the people who actually care about PC games, with your bullshit mobile moneymaker. Outwardly, Blizzard is still mostly doing fine. World of Warcraft Shadowlands was a comparative successful expansion, helping lead to an overall revenue boost of around 7%, according to its most recent earnings report. But Blizzard also shed another 2 million monthly active users, which offers partly attributes to the decline of Overwatch. Blizzard's been going through a pretty long, I think, internal transition, obviously changing over some management across the board and repositioning their IP. We're towards the tail end of that transition, I think, and next year will be the first kind of launch of what the revamped Blizzard will look like. So typically when you're at the tail end of a transition, you're losing a lot of players, Sigfrid says, noting that Jeffries isn't too concerned about the monthly active user drop. What tail end of what fucking transition? More games more quickly, new World of Warcraft expansion every 6 months. What transition? But meanwhile, employees within Blizzard have felt the impact of diminished profit sharing, a twice annual payout tied to Blizzard's profit targets, and individual employee performance. Every year they'd be like, oh, you know, it's just a downtime. We're not shipping anything, but like, it'll probably get better next year. And I was like, but I can do the math. Like, we were years away from shipping anything in 2018, a source within Blizzard says. Keller acknowledges the large gaps between releases. I understand that it's hard for players to wait. I get that. And I think it's really important for Overwatch 2 to come out as soon as it can. But when we launch the next installment of our games, people come back to it. And I think the reason why we do is because they know that we're taking the time to make the game as good as it can possibly be. Sure, we know that. You can view it as pressure, but internally our team doesn't view the pressure of making Overwatch 2 so much as how do we bring all these players back to our game, or how do we grow the audience? The incubation project was supposed to help in this regard, conceived as a sort of safe haven for experimentation on new ideas that could become full-blown games. Incubation is described as a black box by a separate source within Blizzard. Comparatively little has emerged from the process to this point, though IGN is aware of at least 2 games that have been cancelled. One was a StarCraft FPS, as first reported by Kotaku and corroborated by the source we spoke to within Blizzard. The other was a more experimental mobile game. Who would have played a StarCraft FPS game? I would definitely play a StarCraft FPS game. 24/7. Oh yeah, I would play StarCraft I would play StarCraft FPS 100%. And yes, Kerrigan, hot. Varying reports, including sources within Blizzard who spoke with IGN, suggest that the StarCraft FPS team was surprised by this decision. Many, including longtime Blizzard designer and director Dustin Browder, subsequently departed to start Moonshot Games under the umbrella of Blizzard co-founder Mike Morhaim's new venture, Dreamhaven. It's one of several independent studios now stocked with Blizzard veterans. We reached out to Dreamhaven, but it declined to participate in this story. You have to say, though, that Mike Morhaim is a true fucking gentleman. I mean, he's allowed to, right? Duncan Principal, thank you very much for the follow. Really fucking appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's allowed to talk. He no longer works at Blizzard Entertainment. So he can talk openly about the problems of Blizzard, yet he doesn't say a word. He just says, no. No, we have no interest in participating in this story. Ultimately, Blizzard isn't the only prestige developer to face multi-year gaps between releases. Many big-budget studios put out at most one tentpole release every couple of years. To put it more simply, game development is difficult, and that's before taking into account the havoc wreaked by COVID, which has hit Blizzard as hard as anyone. Nevertheless, Blizzard devs are aware that their company makes the least money out of the 3 parts of Activision Blizzard's business. For all its success with Hearthstone and Overwatch, Blizzard was never really able to find the next big thing after World of Warcraft, and its next round of major releases could be more than a year away. The indie effect. Not long after Blizzard's triumphant Overwatch documentary, Chris Metzen resigned. He had been with the company since the early 90s, working on Warcraft 2, serving as lead designer on StarCraft and taking the reins as creative director on Warcraft 3. A couple of months later, he went on the Instance podcast to talk about his reasons for leaving. He said it was genuinely hard to leave, but that the demands of game development had taken their toll on him. I think during those years I burned out really hard, Metzen said at the time. I think in my heart I needed a change in my life. I wanted to slow down, I wanted to just not carry the weight of it all. Burnout is common in tech, particularly in games, which is a notorious grind even when not taking into account practices like crunch. I hate the whole thing about crunch. Everyone works fucking hard, bro. At Blizzard, where it's possible to spend a decade or more working on one game, it's natural to want a change of scenery. That's what happened with Cheng, who spent 10 years on Diablo 3 before moving over to Diablo Immortal. What a change of scenery. I missed the feeling of being on a smaller project, and I knew Diablo Immortal could not be small forever. But I love being there at the birth of the project and riding out that small team feel for as long as you can. We're not small anymore, but it's a nice cultural thing. I think I just needed a break after 10 years from the big team stuff. Metzen remained close to Blizzard, reprising his role as Thrall in WoW's Battle for Azeroth expansion, along with other cameos. He co-founded Warchief Gaming in 2018, a studio dedicated to tabletop role-playing that launched a Kickstarter last month. The Kickstarter was funded in 11 minutes, currently sitting at more than $1 million. We asked Metzen if he wanted to talk about his experiences, but he did not return our email. Alright, Metzen also wants nothing to do with this. More and more Blizzard employees are following in Metzen's footsteps, whether because of burnout or because of a general sense that the company is trending in the wrong direction. Many long-time employees are moving into the indie space. At least 5 studios stocked with former Blizzard developers have launched within the past couple of years. They include Second Dinner, which was founded by Ben Brody, following his departure in 2018. Frost Giant, a studio made up of ex-StarCraft 2 developers seeking to launch the next great RTS. Lightforge Games, which was opened by former Blizzard and Epic engineer Matt Shimbari. Secret Door, led by Chris Gatti, Alan DeBeery and Eric Dodds, and the aforementioned Moonshot. I feel like I get a going away email every day from people I know. Like, it feels like people are leaving constantly now, a source says. A lot of my friends have left, you know, and there have been team closures over time. Team closures, like entire fucking team closures. It's quite heavy. Blizzard downplays these departures, arguing that a development team is more than just a Ben Brody or a Jeff Kaplan, and of course they're right in that regard, but sources within Blizzard say that the departures have had a ripple effect on teams used to long-term stability. Aaron Keller talks about how Kaplan was a mentor figure and a friend for him over the course of almost 14 years. I feel like I've learned so much about game design, about project management, about how to communicate with the team and how to direct people from him. Not just that, but Kaplan looks out for everybody, not just on his own team, but even other people at Blizzard. I can't really express the gratitude fully in words. It's a terrible loss for me to not be able to work with him anymore. In the meantime, the sudden proliferation of independent studios filled with Blizzard veterans has drawn attention from fans and media alike. Like Metzen, many appear to still be close to their former company. The ex-Blizzard devs we spoke to who went independent were reluctant to damage their relationship with the former comrades. It helps that the games industry is currently awash with venture capital. Within just the last couple of years, the number of game-oriented venture funds has grown from around maybe 10 or 20 to about 80, says Ed Fries. Fries is a partner at One Up Ventures. One Up Ventures sponsors a shit ton of gaming ventures, by the way. They're one of those companies that just sort of pushes as much as they fucking can, right? They'll fund like 10 different games with the hope of one of them making it. So they really don't give a fuck. An investment firm that describes itself as a community of independent game developers. OneUp's portfolio includes both Frost Giant and Lightforge, among several other studios. Fries attributes the increased interest to the growth of the games industry, both before and during the COVID-19 pandemic, and an increased willingness to invest in content developers over technology. Fries' recollection is that Frost Giant CEO Tim Morton, a former StarCraft 2 production director, decided to start a new company around the same time that Blizzard put StarCraft 2 in maintenance mode. I need at least weeks, months of breaks until I could enjoy the games again. What games, Digit? Blizzard games? Really? I mean, I still play World of Warcraft every once in a while. The company for... And my understanding is that they really did it with the blessing of the company, Free says. In fact, if you look, the day that they announced the studio was actually the same day that Blizzard announced they weren't going to do a sequel. And so I believe that was a coordinated effort between Blizzard and Tim's team to kind of say, you know, yep, these are the guys who are going to take this forward. Blizzard responded in a statement. Tim Morton kept Blizzard leadership informed of his plans to open his own studio and we parted on good terms. We wish him and his team the best and are looking forward to playing what they create. While we at Blizzard continue thinking about what's next for StarCraft, the spokesperson also pointed towards a blog post explaining the company's future plans for StarCraft, which is nothing. I mean, there's no real... Unless she hit it way at the fucking bottom here. The Blizzard China controversy explained. We know that already. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, guys. My voice is already fucking struggling with reading all of this shit. But I would say none of this is news. Well, it's not new. Almost all of this... Like, how many people here have learned something new that they didn't know before? Yeah, it's nothing new. It's basically same. Which, I mean, sure, we could say that's news. I mean, I didn't know it, but it was kind of obvious. I think at this point, everyone knows that something big has to change. Something big has to happen. The question is how and where. Where does this go? Is that sort of the scary part for me of this entire conversation? Is what exactly is the future for World of Warcraft? And for Blizzard as a general rule, what does the future look like? Because there is a part of me that it's just, I'm scared. I'm starting to see the decline of Blizzard. So I don't even know if you can call it decline though, but I am scared. Definitely scared, because GoldenEye, how you doing? It feels as if Blizzard themselves don't quite understand what they're doing or what path they're supposed to be on. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels as if Blizzard themselves don't quite understand the path that they're on. Or when they make mistakes, it sometimes feels as if Blizzard themselves don't understand the mistakes that they make. Just a matter of time until Blizz will become COD Studio in the next 5 years. I don't think that would ever happen. They could explore the factions and the effects of StarCraft and StarCraft 2 on the four principal factions and how they might fracture and change because of what they've experienced. That's something that I would play. I'm most scared about they're going to try to cater to new generation of gamers, forget the loyal players. Just from the human side of things, they have to be bored of developing this game. Maybe they've just burned out. John, the problem with that is you always have new developers, right? You don't have to have the same developers working on the same game every single time. You can bring in new developers if you really need to. If your current developers are a little bit bored, move them to other projects and get someone new in. In fact, I would say Blizzard desperately needs someone new. Tsukimi, thank you for the primes. I really fucking appreciate that. 7 months in a row. Thank you. If Blizzard ever becomes a mobile gaming company, I'm done. Looking motherfucking dangerous. How you doing, bro? But we, the players, on board with the story, just the chore of the gameplay. They need a good go-between. Blizzard is their own worst enemy. Thing is, as we move further in time, there's less devs that are passionate about Warcraft. Do you think so, though? I mean, we've spoken to developers from Blizzard before, and they seem very passionate about the game. They seem to really love the game. Waiting for my wife to get her cancer treatment. She's getting her radiation right now. Holy shit, dangerous. I'm so sorry to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, good thoughts. Can we send some good thoughts and prayers to Dangerous and his wife? I hope sincerely that she kicks that cancer in the fucking bollocks. 100%. Yeah, let's go. Hearts in chat for Dangerous and his wife. Part of the problem is Blizzard put the bar so fucking high in the past. I don't necessarily agree. I think it would be so easy for Blizzard to get shit done. It would be so easy. All Blizzard have to do is get out of their own way. That's all they need to do. It's a badass bitch. She's going to beat this shit. Oh yeah, she definitely is Dangerous. You tell her from all of us, we want her to get healthy again. Good night, Luna. Thank you very much for hanging out. I am actually also going to head off, guys. I have to do a podcast still with Apocalypse for the patrons. And my voice is already struggling. I do apologize that it's a bit shorter. It's about 2.5 hours. My voice, as I said from the beginning, is still not where it needs to be. But we should be back from Sunday. Well, we're back today, right? So Sunday we'll be live on YouTube, and then back here on Tuesday again for more streams and more fun. And hopefully the voice fucking be shy to do so. I'll just edit it out. All right, Alex, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize that I can't do as long a stream as you deserve. I promise we will be back to normal in no time. I told you that your voice is going to hurt today. It's sore, Apocalypse. Like, my voice is sore. I can feel my voice, and it's not a good feeling. But yeah, we'll do it in a fucking drink less. Drink less. I don't even fucking drink. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with me. Take care of yourselves. Have an amazing Friday evening. Think about me, the guy that still can't leave my house because I'm still under fucking quarantine. It's boring. I'm not a guy that leaves my house often, but you can't even go to the shop. It's very fucking boring. So yeah, I appreciate all of you. I love you, and I will see all of you on Sunday. Peace out, fam.